everyone.
Hello.
It's Lesley.
Tim.
Rosehaven-yarn-shop, Picton, Ontario, Prince Edward County. This is the Black River behind us. And one of our willow trees that fell down a little while ago. But the turtles like it, so we let it sit in the water. Because the turtles need the sun on it in order to digest. It's actually very important to leave fallen trees in the water.
Yes.
They appreciate it.
They like it.
Our neighbors sometimes maybe don't, but we learn to get along. So we are just finishing, it's Tuesday, we just finished our big Prince Edward County Fibrefest.
Fibrefest weekend.
It was epic, it was fantastic. We had
There's a spider on me.
fabulous turnout.
Go away.
Classes were great, the vendors were happy, the people were happy, and yeah, it was a really fun time.
Yeah, it was good.
It was, but we're very tired.
Yeah, we're still recovering a little bit. It's a long day and a long couple of weeks and months leading up to it.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah.
Thank God for the committee. Man, there's so many people that help in so many ways with it. We're only a small cog in the wheel. Is that the term?
Debbie and Karen and Marie and Aaron and Kelly and
Brenda
Jen and Brenda and Kathy and no.
She does all the classes. That's the classes. And the market. She did the market and the animal vendors. We had all the animals. We had alpacas and baby Angora bunnies.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I learned more about taking care of Bun Bun, getting her coat brushed properly. Excuse you, Milo.
The dog is sneezing.
He's hacking because he's chewing on sticks. He tries to find the biggest stick that's bigger than he is and drag it around.
Milo, come here. Come on. We had this year we had some good swag going.
We did.
So we had a nice canvas bag here.
It is a really nice bag. It's beautiful.
It is a good bag, yeah.
Double.
And look, there's a little enamel pin there.
Tim made. Well, you illustrated it.
I designed a little pin, and there's a Pearl and J pin because Pearl and J
has the coolest
awesome.
Yarn truck. It's a 1985 fire truck that she turned into a yarn truck. It's amazing. It's a mobile yarn store. It's very cool. I'm on a hill. I feel like I'm gonna roll backwards.
You interviewed her.
I did.
You did interview.
Yes, way back.
And
second episode, I think, because I don't know what episode number are we on. 22,
21.
It's been over a year. We never really announced. Hey, it's our 1 year anniversary.
Come here, buddy. So. Come on, get up here. Get up here.
Oh,
there we go.
And I have to show you the most awesome shoes in the world. Bacon and eggs. It's hot chocolate designs on Amazon. They used to be, I think they probably started with just for little kids, but I'm like, oh hell no, these are for big kids. And they're pink, one's pink and one's blue, and most of their shoes are like this, 2 different styles. And they're just flat little Mary Chains, but I couldn't resist them. They were too funny. And finished objects, I finished my cardigan. So it's got the little different materials. It looks like you're wearing almost 3 different sweaters. The idea is you're supposed to do the same with the sleeve, but I wanted to wear it this past weekend, so I didn't add the next color sleeve, because the next color sleeve is supposed to be in this fabric, and then the last long sleeve is supposed to be in this one. I might add that in November, maybe in January.
Yeah.
Or not. I kind of like that. Maybe I should just make
good
I should just make really long arm gloves, and then I could just, when it's cold, I could
wear
them.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then because I don't know, I'm always hot, and this is actually pretty comfortable. Because it was hot in the arena at the Fibrefest, but I kept it on all day, and it was cute and comfy. And I put some funny little star buttons and heart buttons on it. So, and I cast on because the hedgehog came in. Finally, this is Piggy Bank. And I cast on this cute shawl. It's by Amba O'Brien. It's the Kimba shawl. So that's a little picture there. And I'm going to try and get it done for August for the Twist Festival, because I bought this pattern. She actually has it in a number of different languages. So she has it in French. I think there might even be Spanish in there. And it's 4 different colors. So I'm using Piggy Bank. Then it will go into Bee's Knees. Then it goes into Bubble, and then it goes into Pinky Swear. I'm looking at you like you're gonna know.
Like I'm gonna
Come on, Tim.
I was gonna say pink, you know, because
Pinky
it's
swear.
pink.
Yeah, and we have Blue Brick now, which is a Toronto hand dyer, and she does the most incredible gradient yarns. They have these really long,
Careful
long,
now.
slow graduating colors. So it goes through 3 colors, and they're incredible on shawls. It's not really meant for socks because it's actually so long, the color changes, that it looks amazing in triangular shawls and stuff. So we just got that, and we had it at the show because she wasn't able to come because she had a wedding. But yeah, so I'm gonna get a sample made up. Hopefully Christine will make me up a sample, right, Christine? And we have an interview at the Fibrefest.
Yeah. So who was all in that interview? Lesley and I were in it.
Podcaster Q&A. I had Christopher from Cabin Boy Knits, Eric Lutz from Sticks Twine, who I know we all are missing, and he said he's actually coming back. He's now moved into his space, his new house, home, and renovated, and he's got his own yarny space that he's going to broadcast from. So he was on it. And Shelagh from Three Sisters Knits, and the 2 sisters from AllDyedUp. Well, we only had one sister, but yes. So you will see them. It's a 20-minute interview, but I was asking some kind of fun questions, so I was trying to keep it light and lively. And we actually broadcast it. We actually had a microphone, and we were sitting up in the bleachers at the arena and doing the Q&A. It was kind of fun.
Yeah. So we have it's about 20 minutes long, and we're just going to tack it on the end of this.
Yes.
So you can stay tuned and watch that.
Pictures and Fibrefest. There's a few pictures. I got a few pictures. And did you get any pictures?
I was so swamped in the booth there that I didn't hardly even get out at all. It was crazy.
It was pretty steady the whole day. I managed to get out around 3 o'clock and do a quick round of checking in on how everyone was doing.
Yeah.
Make sure all our vendors are happy. And I got to go visit Jessica and her Angora bunny, Hermes and Thistle.
Yeah, we did hire a really good photographer, a local guy, Michael Grills, to come and shoot stuff. Yeah. So we'll have some really nice pictures, photos that aren't just iPhone photos. Yeah,
exactly.
Which would be nice.
He definitely has a really good eye. And our son survived prom. We survived prom. Prom was a whole long weekend of teenagers.
It was dicey there for a minute on it's a party that starts on Friday night and then splits off as the kids kind of go their separate ways, but the parties kind of continue like all weekend. Yeah. So there was a point on Saturday night when taxis started pulling in our driveway, and it's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
maybe not.
Because they tend to use our one little barn that used to be our gift shop as their hangout, but there's a lot of stuff in there that didn't get sorted and moved, so there's room for a large group of kids. We said it was fine having a bunch of his buddies over, like a dozen, but yeah.
When the taxis start coming,
you know you're in trouble. Yeah, and the pickup trucks. Because they had a bush party Friday night after the thing, and then it's like, then they went to the beach, because we have the sandbank, because they went to the beach all day, and then they went, I don't know, and then he's like, you have to pick me up at Saturday evening, and we're like, we're going home, sitting on the deck, and we're going to start drinking wine and going to bed by 10 o'clock. And he's like, well, yeah, later, like 10:30. And we're like, no, we'll be in bed. Figure it out, take a cab.
They all ended up here. And,
yes.
And then
and then tents started popping up.
Well, yeah, he's like texting me, it's a little bit rowdy, but we'll keep it down and stuff. And then I went to bed, and I woke up to a text that said, oh, we want to take the canoes out. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. They took canoes out and we're paddling around, which is crazy. And you wake up and there's tents all over. And
teenagers falling out like clowns out of a car. There's just, I don't know how many fit
How
in
many
those
kids
things.
are in that tent?
We don't have a big property. It's only an acre, and it's got the river behind us, which is pretty shallow, but if anybody fell in, it'd be one stinky, mucky child.
Yeah,
teenager,
you'd never get the stink out.
No. And yeah, luckily they picked the canoe that didn't have holes in the bottom, because there's a couple here that are not seaworthy.
Yeah, they need some work.
Never a dull moment in our world. I like it if the kids are here. At least then you kind of know what they're up to.
Yeah.
You can overhear and learn all the gossip because they don't think you're actually listening to them.
What else is going on? What do we have coming up?
Festival.
Well,
we're going to be at Kawartha,
right?
Yarn and Fiber Festival up in Fenland Falls. And I have Charity Vandermeer coming, so I've got some pictures. I've had some of the PEAT students for the big felting class with Charity Vandermeer that's happening next month, June, middle of June. I guess it's almost June. We dyed our silk here because I have to match the silk to the wool that we're using to make our jackets. And it's a 4-day course, so it's pretty involved making that jacket. So I'll get pictures and stuff of that for you felting enthusiasts.
It's all filled up, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's sold out within a week of me posting it.
Yeah.
And there's still room in our knit retreat in November with Kate Atherley and Sally Melville. And Tim's trying to find accommodations. We got to find accommodations. You got to come to Rhinebeck.
I should probably go.
I think you should come to Rhinebeck.
I should probably go.
Yes. Because I had a spot, but I'm sharing with a bunch of girls and they don't want any boys. So we might have to reconfigure the plan if you're going to come. And Tim needs more friends on Ravelry.
Oh,
please friend Tim. And subscribe. You need to subscribe. Right, where is it? Subscribe down here. Because we've hit 900, and if we hit, what is it, 1,000? We get to do, I don't know, cool things.
I don't know.
Something on YouTube. I'm not sure. So subscribe, like us, and we're on Instagram. I do lots of Instagramming, so that's where you'll see little videos of Bun Bun and crazy stuff. And our friend's latest creation, Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, the F-bomb is so cool. So it is such a funny thing. Go look on Instagram because you'll. It's so funny. It's a knitted F-bomb. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's the non-swearing version too. Just, but anyway, she's doing a test knit right now, and I said I'd try and do it. So hopefully it won't take too long because it's not a big knit, but it's really funny. I love that kind of humor.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So, yes, I think we'll have to make sure we have one in the store at all times so we can just throw it to someone who's having some frustration time in a class.
When people start shoving the yarn through the bookcase to the back.
It falls down the stairs.
Then you just chuck an F-bomb at them.
Yes. I'm not sure Jack would get that. Our poor customer. He thinks he's being helpful shoving the yarn, but unfortunately the one shelf doesn't have a back, and it opens onto the back of the stairs, and it just goes down the stairs, ball after ball. And I can hear it going thump, thump, thump. And he's just talking and shoving the yarn into the cubby.
It's ridiculous, though, because...
It's amazing how much can fit in there, isn't it? Because it's all falling down the stairs.
And yet, it's like, you know, you'll complain about it. This keeps happening, but we don't do anything to fix it.
We got to get something.
I have a plan. We'll fix it. I have a plan.
I will take your plan.
Yeah.
You can run with it.
The plan is we don't allow Jack to come into the store anymore.
Oh, I gotta love that guy. He's 80 years old and he just knits all the time. And he knits for all the people in his church. They look at his sweater and they go, "Oh, I like your wife's sweater." And he goes and knits it. Doesn't charge them anything for it. And I'm like, Jack, at least get them to pay for the wool. He's hilarious.
All right.
Yep. So enjoy the interview.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. Tried to make it silly because that's what we kind of do.
Okay.
Where'd the dog go?
I don't know. The dog's disappeared. We're going to go find the dog, and you can watch the interview. Okay, bye.
It's probably in the reeds.
Milo is more of a debarker instead of a barker.
Welcome to Fibrefest 2018! Woo!
Are you in on the panel?
We have podcasters here. They're willing to answer your questions of just about everything. Maybe. I'm Lesley, Rosehaven-yarn-shop. My husband Tim. We do the podcast Rosehaven on YouTube. And then we have Christopher from Cabin Boy Knits up in Sterling. Yay! So, Christopher, I'm just going to pass the mic to you so you can introduce more so and tell us anything about you, what you got going on.
Okay. It's been a really busy year so far. Last week I was at a men's knitting retreat in upstate New York, and beautiful country. It's my 6th time. 42 guys, and it was wonderful. And then we had this show this week, and I've got a store coming online in September, and I also am going to have a fashion show in September in Picton, and I'll be got a couple pieces going in an art gallery as well. So it's going to be a busy year.
Wow.
Do you want to pass it over to Eric?
Yes, Eric.
Here we go. What do you want to say?
Eric, tell us what's your podcast name.
So my name is Eric. I am the host of the Sticks Twine podcast. I have been a little quiet for the past year as there's been a lot of life changes happening, but it's all good. We're now in, I guess, the 1 year since I did one, but I'm actually taking footage today. So I will be having a new one come out soon. I've been knitting up a storm. We sold our place, we bought a new place, we renovated it top to bottom, had a few sort of personal things happen along the way, but we're back in the swing of the knitting.
Hi, I'm Shelagh, and I'm Shelagh. I'm from the Three Sisters Knit podcast on YouTube. I'm half of it. My other sister Margaret couldn't make it. We just started a podcast a couple of years ago. We podcast about every couple of weeks, and we just got into it after some life changes in our life as well. So that's what we do, and we love it. We enjoy it. It's fun. It's a great community.
Hi, I'm Diane. My sister and I also podcast. We are AllDyedUp Fibres. She's not up here today. She's down at the booth of our vendors, and we're fairly new podcasters, and we're just having a blast doing it. So,
Awesome. Okay, please pass the mic.
Tim, do you want to say anything?
No.
No. He says no. Okay, if anyone, do you have any questions? Or are we just going to start throwing stuff? I have a few questions. Oh, look, we're gaining audience. Okay, I have a question for us. So, epic knit night. Who would you want at your epic knit night? Who would be like your favorite person to just sit down and gab and trade techniques with?
One person? Nancy Marchand would definitely be one. Yeah, she's my secret knitting girlfriend. So I think she'd be awesome. And I'll pass it along.
I have a couple. Can I have a couple?
Yes, you may.
First, I would say Elizabeth Zimmerman, because have to. I would say after that, Julie Hoover, because she's one of my favorite knitwear designers. And after that, I'd probably say Jared Flood, because I think his aesthetic is really cool. He's super shy, and I'd like to get him drunk.
I honestly have no idea. There's so many out there, I couldn't even choose. It's just so difficult. There's just so many amazing designers and people with techniques, and there's just, it's overwhelming to try to pick just a couple.
Yeah. Well, even someone just to hang out and talk to. Yeah. Just to gab, like another podcast.
Meryl Streep.
Yes. Okay.
I would love to knit with Meryl Streep. She does knit. Her and Julia Roberts. Yes. I'll go for the Hollywood crowd.
I really have no idea.
Really?
I don't know. Stephen West would be cool. I love the color. I love the designs. Yeah, he'd be cool to hang out with. So I guess I would say Stephen West.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have someone, Tim, for that you would have at your epic knit night?
For my epic knit, well, I think this is a good group right here to have. Yeah.
Nice political correct.
What do you do again? Oh, yes, a political cartoonist. Yes. I think I would like to meet Hohi Locatelli.
Oh, she's nice too.
Yeah, she seems lovely and someone to hang out with. And Hollywood, I would probably Sarah Jessica Parker, because she seems pretty fun. And I know she's a knitter, so I'll probably do that.
Cool.
Okay, so here's the question I get asked all the time in the store. And it's always, everyone, we've all got our different aesthetics. What are your favorite knitting needles? And do you specifically use the same brand for all your projects? Or are there certain projects that you would prefer, metal, wood, that kind of thing? I am addicted to my Haya Sharp set of all, from 2.75 to 10s, with 16-inch cables for all of them, so I can make hats out of anything I want.
I use Addy Click for pretty much everything. And I started using them 4 years ago and haven't stopped, so I love them.
I change the needle depending on the type of project. So socks, I'll either use Addy Sock Rockets or Haya Sharks. For sweaters, I like Addy Clicks a lot. But almost anything else, I like my Haya interchangeables.
Well, mostly I do socks and shawls, so I have some Knitter's Pride. I have the cubits. I use those. I use the I use Addy Sock Rockets for socks and stuff like that, but I also use the Luca needles as well. If I'm using cotton, I prefer like a bamboo or a wood, because then it doesn't slide right off. But other than that, generally it is a metal needle.
So you're not monogamous?
No, I'm not monogamous.
I like the Knitter's Pride zines. I'm a zinc girl, and those are my go-tos. I like flexi flips, the Addy flexi flips. I tried those for socks. I really like those. And that's about my go-to.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And there's another needle that I just got to try, and it's called Prym, P-R-Y-M, and they're triangular shape, and they're kind of plastic, and they almost have a funny little, not super pointed, but they were amazing. They're kind of an interesting shape needle, so if you get a chance to try them, definitely. Any questions from the audience?
I just bought these Addy flips.
Addy flips, we got some Addy flips being purchased.
I'm excited to use them.
Nice.
I tested them.
For socks?
For socks. Any tips or anybody that knits with these? Do you like them?
Addy flips tips? Addy flip tips? I have used those. I prefer them on a vanilla sock, not one with a pattern. I found them very difficult with a pattern, especially if there's cables.
Okay.
I found them very difficult, but they're excellent for doing afterthought heels.
Oh, and that's what I do.
Yeah, I found them very good for afterthought heels.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm excited to try them.
I love them.
For everything. Do you do anything other than socks, or is it mostly a sock?
Sleeves.
Sleeves.
I do sleeves on a sweater, top-down sweater. I did sleeves with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like them.
Awesome. And it's two, and the third one, like you're working on the two. Right, okay. Oh, this is great.
There you go.
I will not drop the mic, right? We're not going to drop the mic today. So, do you guys, who has a knitting challenge that they want to tackle this year? Tim? The newest knitter in the group?
Finishing anything.
Yeah.
I have several projects that are taking far longer than they should. So yes.
That tends to be how knitting works. But eventually, all of a sudden, it's done. Like, look, done.
I've been dyeing yarn for a while now, and with natural dyes, and so I've been focused on a log cabin blanket, and it's going to be using all of the dyes all the yarn that I've dyed. So that's it.
It's very appropriate considering you live in a log cabin. I am trying to get rid of all of my sort of deep hibernation projects. I'm trying to get rid of them all, finish them, or frog them and do it for something else, because I'm tired of having the stress of knowing there's an unfinished thing. So I'm working through it. I've got 6 of about 12 done already. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
I have a personal challenge for myself this year, and that's to knit myself a pair of socks every month. And I have been successful so far. And I've actually knit 7 pairs of socks already this year. Wow. Yes. So I'm ahead of schedule. Yes, but I have to. My sister and I in the podcast, I put 12 bags, a skein of yarn in each bag. Some of them have patterns, some of them don't. And they're stapled shut, and I did that last fall. And she, at the end of the month, sort of just picks a bag, so I don't even remember what I've put in half of these bags, which makes it fun. So, and she just picks a bag, and that's the sock I work on that month. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm sort of ahead of schedule. I did one pair that was just my knit socks, just to keep a pair of socks on the needles all the time, and they had cables in that, and I finished them in March, near the end of March. I was so happy to have them done. But I love them, they're just gorgeous. So they're my favorite pair.
This year, my sister-in-law and I knit toques every year and donate them to charity. My cousin is a city bylaw officer for the city of Kingston, and he hands them out for us on his route. So our challenge this year is to reach 200 toques. So we've been knitting toques like crazy. So that's our challenge this year.
Now I completely forgot the next question. Oh, yes. Any knitting technique that someone has either shown you or you've learned, and now it's like in your toolbox of go-tos and you use all the time? For me, I never blocked. I have learned to appreciate the block. Embrace the block. We block. Okay, I still don't do swatches. I will tell you to do swatches when you come to my store, but I don't. I know I'm a loose knitter, so it's like, yes, see? But blocking, because I did this sweater and all my little ribbing things were flipping up, and I was like, ugh. So I finished it, and I was immediately downstairs, sewed the buttons on and blocked it all in the same day. It was shocking, because I hate sewing buttons. Thanks, Mom. I know you're out there for always sewing buttons on all my projects.
For me, it's color-stranded knitting. With my left hand, I use continental, and my right hand I throw, and it just feels much more comfortable for me. So, and that's what I use all the time.
Are you left-handed or are you right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
I actually learned how to do that too. During the Olympics, I was like, I got to do something, so figured that out. For me, I'd say the tip or technique that I picked up was from Patty Lyons, who always said after, when you're switching between sort of a knit and a purl stitch, to make sure that you give the extra little tug when you switch, because it tightens up that stitch, all the extra sort of yarn that's there, so it's a lot more even. And it feels really weird when you do it. I saw Patty Lyons taught me how to do it. I think Stacy from Very Pink Knits says to do the same thing. So I'm like, well, they can't both be wrong. So I started doing that, and it made a huge difference. The knitting's just way more even now, especially when you're doing cables. So if you've got a cable on a purl field, it looks much, much, much better.
My favorite technique, I think, is from Susan B. Anderson, from her simple sock, her pattern. Is to add the waste yarn, do 3 rows, not just 1, do the 3 rows. And I use that. I don't like her heel on that smooth opera. I myself don't like that heel, but I can still put in a different afterthought heel if I want by using that technique. So that's like my favorite technique that I use all the time. So.
I must confess, I've always been a really, really bad swatcher. I did not swatch anything. I was an anti-swatcher until this year. I knit a couple of sweaters, and after the first one, quickly learned that we're going to have to swatch.
Sorry, hon, I didn't mean to skip you. What new techniques did you learn?
Again, because I'm so new, it's really just fixing it yourself. You know, like learning what you did wrong and figuring out how to, even if it's going down a few rows and fixing it. Yeah, do it yourself.
And I appreciate that. Because there has been times I have a tendency to not stay up as late as Tim, and he'll come in the bedroom and I'm like trying to do my quiet time, and he's like, how did you, what's that? Like, very stressful. And don't teach your spouse how to knit. Don't be taught by any family member. Find somebody else. Find a stranger in the library. Much better teachers. Much more patience to a stranger.
You're a great teacher.
Oh, sweet. Good answer, honey. So, what do we got coming up in the future for everybody? Tim and I are at Kawartha in 2 weeks. Kawartha Fiber and Yarn Festival, and apparently there's a new one coming up too in September that I hadn't even heard about, but Grenville? Is it Grenville? I don't remember. There's a card on my table, but yes, there are now fiber festivals like every month. There's one in Barrie in August. We're going to be at Twist in Quebec in August. But yeah, there's so many coming. And you have a fun thing happening on June 16th.
Yep. On June 16th, we've got it's called Wool Kiki at the Cabin, and it's basically bringing farmers, sheep farmers, alpaca farmers, knitters, dyers, spinners together to hang out for the afternoon and talk about wool and fiber. And we also have John Crane coming from Vermont, and he has fleece from 70 different breeds of sheep. And he will be, and we've got, he's not bringing the sheep.
I'm just imagining your house, all these lovely sheep on your lawn.
I don't think they'll get across the border, but yeah. And then the other event I just wanted to mention is in August 9th to 12th. So all the guys out there, listen up. There's a men's knitting retreat at my cabin, and Tim is going to be going. So I just came back from one last week, and it was great. This one's going to be epic. So really excited about it.
The only real plan I have for the rest of this year, I'm actually going to the Wool Kiki. So I'll be there for that. My plans have changed. FYI, I'm coming. And other than that, I'm going to Rhinebeck this year again. I think this might be the last one for a while because it's so expensive. So, you know, this will be my 3rd year in a row. But it's so much fun. It's totally worth it. But we're doing it up big time. So, yeah. So that'll be later this year. And then other than that, I don't think we'll be doing a lot of wool sort of events. Now that we've just spent a year renovating our place, I kind of want to enjoy it. I don't want to go anywhere.
I'll be visiting the Kawartha one in Fenelon Falls, Yarn and Fiber Festival. I'll be going to that myself, and we're going to Rhinebeck as well. We had so much fun last year. It was so much fun. And then I'll be going to the Kawartha, the Kitchener-Waterloo Fiber Festival in September. Yeah, the KW in September. So it's basically Kawartha, KW, and Rhinebeck. That's it.
Well, we're going to be at Kawartha as well. We have a booth at Kawartha, and we have a couple of trunk shows in the fall planned, and some of those are kind of still in the works. And then this year we're going to Rhinebeck for the very first time. So I don't know if we're ready for what it's all about. But anyway, we'll learn as we go.
Yeah.
All right. I hope everyone. Did you like it? Did you hear us out there? Yes. Yay! Well, thank you all for coming to Prince Edward County's Fibrefest. We're going to do it next year, and we're even going to be a wee bit bigger. We're taking over another building. Bigger is better, right? More yarn. Always need more yarn. All right, thanks, everybody. Have fun shopping, and keep on knitting.